This message is being broadcast through the Community Access Center. This message is being issued at the request of local activist groups, under the authority of local broadcasting agencies. There is no emergency, and if there was an emergency, official instructions would have followed the alert tone. The following message will contain information from the North Dakota Environmental Protection Agency. Please stand by if you would like to know more information.
Hello everyone, this is Paul Macrod, head of the North Dakota Environmental Protection Agency. This message concerns the community of Devil's Lake, North Dakota. For generations, this community has been known for its lovely foliage and scenic view of nature. The treasure of this town is their massive apple tree that has been in this town for generations. This tree has been located at the back of the park for as long as anyone can remember and is not only beautiful, but a favorite attraction of tourists and residents alike. Recently though, a lumber company, by the name of Timber Logging Company, has been wanting to clear room for more indoor tourist attractions. We've been in the talks with them for months to see if they would consider another spot, but they won't budge. They want to clear the forest behind the park, and the massive apple tree would be going along with it. City planners for the town of Devil's Lake also don't seem to mind removing the forest. The current plan is for the removal of the forest to start on September 25, 2020. If you can, please come out to the park that day with us. This is our last chance at preserving the natural beauty of this town, and keeping a part of this town that has been with its residents for generations. We hope to see people stand with the North Dakota Environmental Protection Agency, and that we can keep the state as gorgeous as it has been for generations. Don't let corporate greed cause irreversible damage to not just nature, but also to the communities that live here.
This concludes this activation of the Community Access Center. Thank you for your time. This message is being broadcast at the request of the Ramsey County Police Department. The Ramsey County Police Department has issued a law enforcement warning for Ramsey County until further notice. At around 12:30 this afternoon, a massive fight broke out at the Devil's Lake Community Park. This fight is believed to be between a group of protesters and members of the Timber Logging Company business. While a lot of the fighting has calmed down, there are still some skirmishes throughout the park and surrounding area. The crowd of protesters are believed to be partially from the North Dakota Environmental Protection Agency and local residents of Devil's Lake. While it is not fully clear what has happened in the park, it is believed the fight was started when the head of Timber Logging Company tried to force the protest group away from the local apple tree. As of right now, police have apprehended most of the people fighting on both sides, and they will be taken into custody until the situation is sorted out. Aside from a few minor injuries, no one was seriously hurt or killed during this disagreement, at least from what is known at this time. It is asked that you avoid the Devil's Lake Community Park until further notice. The area will be taped off once all the people are evacuated from the park. Anyone found on the property will be fined with trespassing. Stay tuned to local news media for more coverage on this event. Repeating, the Ramsey County Police Department has issued a law enforcement warning for Ramsey County until further notice. This message is being broadcast through the Community Access Center. This message is being issued at the request of the Devil's Lake Planning Committee, under the authority of local broadcast agencies. There is no emergency, and if there was an emergency, official instructions would have followed the alert tone. The following message will contain information pertaining to the status of the Devil's Lake Community Park and the events that took place on September 25, 2020.
Hello, my name is Amy Sway, and I am the head of the Devil's Lake Planning Committee. We have heard the demands of the residents of Devil's Lake and the North Dakota Environmental Protection Agency regarding the Devil's Lake Community Park. While we are listening, we do plan on moving forward with the excavation of the forest behind the park. In terms of the town's apple tree, there are plans to try and uproot it and move it to a more suitable location. We do not want to erase the history of this town, but progress needs to be made. Excavation of the forest is expected to begin on the afternoon of September 29, 2020. The forest area behind the park will remain off limits to residents. The park is expected to reopen on October 5, 2020. If you have any questions, feel free to contact the Devil's Lake Planning Committee. We are sorry that we are making this change, but we believe it will be better for our town in the future.
This concludes this activation of the Community Access Center. Thank you for your time. This message is being broadcast at the request of the Ramsey County Fire and Rescue Department. The Ramsey County Fire and Rescue Department has issued an industrial fire warning for the town of Devil's Lake until further notice. At around 3:30 a.m. this morning, a fire broke out at the Timber Logging Company headquarters on the northeast corner of town. It is currently unknown what caused the fire, but fire crews are currently on the ground investigating. It is unknown if this fire has anything to do with the recent protests against the company, due to their controversial removal of the forest near the Devil's Lake Community Park and its massive apple tree. As of right now, foul play is not suspected, but it can't be ruled out. Leader of the North Dakota Environmental Protection Agency, Paul Rod, was not available to comment on the situation. If you are in the general vicinity of the building, it is advised you leave the area for now. The fire is not expected to spread much further than it already has, but smoke inhalation and random fires nearby from burning materials are still threats. If you are far away from the building, it is advised you avoid the area until an all clear is given. People with breathing sensitivities are advised to remain indoors, or to wear a facial covering when not in public for at least the next 36 hours. This message will repeat hourly, until either new information is available, or an all clear is given. Repeating, the Ramsey County Fire and Rescue Department has issued an industrial fire warning for the town of Devil's Lake until further notice. This message is being broadcast at the request of the Ramsey County Fire and Rescue Department. An emergency update regarding the industrial fire at the Timber Logging Company headquarters has been issued. Please stand by for more information on this event. The fire at Timber Logging Company in northeastern Devil's Lake has been extinguished. The fire raged for around 12 hours, reaching 100% containment at around 3:45 p.m. on the afternoon of October 2nd. The building is a lost cause, with major structural damage on all sections of the building. There were not many people in the building at the time the fire started, but unfortunately 2 people sustained serious injuries and 1 worker passed from his injuries. While a name is not being given at the moment in order to respect the privacy of him and his family, a local funeral at the park is currently being planned. It is now safe to travel near the former building, but people with breathing sensitivities should still wear a facial covering or remain indoors for another 24 hours. Most of the company's equipment was out at the Devil's Lake Community Park, but work on the park will be put on hold until the situation is resolved. The forested area is about 50% cleared, and the Devil's Lake apple tree has been moved to a temporary location, where it will stay until a new resting place is decided. Residents are allowed to go into the main parts of the park again, but are asked to stay away from construction equipment. As of now, there is no longer any emergency. Thank you. This message is being broadcast at the request of the Ramsey County Police Department. The Ramsey County Police Department has issued a local area emergency for the town of Devil's Lake, North Dakota, until further notice. At around 9 a.m. this morning, strange natural phenomenon was occurring in around the town of Devil's Lake. It seems as if natural foliage has begun to grow at a much accelerated rate. Areas with dense bush cover have grown to immense height, towering as high as 15 feet. Trees have seemingly popped up in random points of the town, some looking as if they are fully grown when they weren't there yesterday. Cracks in the streets are starting to form due to exceptionally large roots digging into the concrete. It is advised if you are in buildings to remain on the lowest floor, as roots growing into the concrete can cause structural instability. It is also advised that you stay away from the Devil's Lake Community Park, as it is the place with most out-of-control foliage growth. While there seems to be no immediate threat to life, it is advised that you stay away from any foliage that seems to be growing at a rapid pace. If you see foliage rapidly expanding, keep your distance, and contact your local law enforcement agency to send in a report. Cleanup crews are on their way into the city now to try and prevent damage from rapid growth. Stay tuned to local news media for more information and future updates on this strange event. This message is being broadcast at the request of the Ramsey County Police Department. The Ramsey County Police Department has issued a civil danger warning for the town of Devil's Lake, North Dakota, until further notice. As of 11 a.m. this morning, the situation in Devil's Lake involving rapidly growing foliage has worsened. The plant life has begun to invade people's homes, shattering windows, causing critical foundation damage, and breaking people's possessions. Roots and weeds have also seemed to have been targeting people. There have been reports of roots wrapping around people's feet and legs, seemingly trying to restrict them from moving. While no one has been hurt by this yet, it is believed that serious bodily harm could be caused. This could potentially happen if you trip over, and the roots wrap around your neck, attempting to suffocate you. It is still unknown as to why this is all happening, but it is theorized to have something to do with the deforestation around Devil's Lake Community Park. It is advised you carry around a sharp object with you at all times, in order to try and cut any excess vines, roots, or weeds that try to attack you or break your property. Any type of sharp tool can work, such as knives. But if possible, sharp gardening tools will likely work the best, such as shovels, or even a large axe or hatchet. If you do not have access to bigger tools, any kind of sharp object will likely help you. It is advised you keep away from any areas with a lot of natural foliage. If you have any small plants in your house, it is advised you cut the roots and stem directly, and then put them outside, if you can do so without endangering yourself. Firearms will likely not help here, as it will likely not fully disconnect the root from the main part of the plant. It is strongly advised that you do not use any type of fire, or anything that can be burned as a weapon. This could potentially cause an out-of-control fire due to all the foliage growth. This message will repeat every hour until new information is available, or until an all clear is given. This message is being broadcast at the request of civil authorities in the town of Devil's Lake, North Dakota. An immediate evacuation order has been issued for the entire town of Devil's Lake, North Dakota. The situation in Devil's Lake involving the rapidly growing foliage has reached a breaking point. Despite efforts from cleanup crews and civilians alike, the plant life has not seemed to slow down. It actually seems to be accelerating in growth rate. There have now been multiple reported injuries from this event, and crews have worked day and night to protect the local hospital to treat people with illnesses or injuries. Many buildings in the town center have been compromised, due to the roots of the plants growing into the foundation. An estimated 50% of the town has been compromised. This includes major city buildings, homes, and any other types of civilian structure. Government officials believe this is a fight that we are not going to win. It is advised that you gather any important belongings and leave the town immediately. It is expected the town will be fully compromised within the next 48 hours. Continue carrying large, sharp objects with you to cut any vines, weeds, or roots that attempt to harm you. The town will likely not recover from this event, and coming back could be dangerous. Grab everything you want to bring with you and leave immediately. The broadcast building this message is coming from will continue to broadcast until the building is compromised. Repeating, an immediate evacuation order has been issued for the entire town of Devil's Lake, North Dakota. This message is being broadcast at the request of civil authorities in the town of Devil's Lake, North Dakota. A fire warning has been issued for the town of Devil's Lake, North Dakota. At around 1 p.m. this afternoon, remaining residents in the town called law enforcement offices stating they smelled smoke. At around 1:10 p.m., it was discovered that the rapidly growing foliage had knocked down a power pole, exposing wires. These wires caught some of the plants on fire, and the fire is now burning out of control throughout the city. The fire was started near the remains of what was the Timber Logging Company building on the northeast side of town. With all of the plant life invading buildings in town, it is expected that the fire will have easy access to almost every building in the town. The town is also about 80% compromised as of this time. If you are still within the town of Devil's Lake, you must leave now. This is a particularly dangerous situation. If you refuse to leave, you are endangering yourself and the lives of law enforcement officials. The fire is expected to burn the northeast corner of the city to the ground within the next hour, slowly making its way south and westward. This fire will likely reach the Devil's Lake Community Park within the next 3 hours. At that point, the entire town will likely be scorched. Finish packing any of your remaining belongings and leave as soon as possible. This town will likely be wiped off the map by the time this fire is done. There is little chance of recovery, as the roads are both covered in foliage and immensely cracked from the roots growing through the town. This means the fire and rescue department will not be able to put out fires, and law enforcement cannot come save you. The town of Devil's Lake will be remembered for this event, but also for its people. This station will continue broadcasting this message on repeat until the building burns down. God bless you all, and good luck.